is Tommy. Today is Thursday, May 30th, 2024, and I'm here at Six Flags over Georgia. I got about 4 hours to spend in the park as I am currently on a layover at the Atlanta airport. It's my layover from Minneapolis to Costa Rica, so my flight to Costa Rica is tonight. So 4 hours, 4 hours, I will make the most of it. Don't expect to do everything, but we will see. Maybe I will be back here in just under a week on my next layover, but that is not for certain. So, all right, let's go. Okay, now this is a fantastic theme park tunnel. I love it. Every park needs something like this, and this is among one of the best I've ever seen. I like the vines growing over. Nice bit of cool shade. First ride of the day, one of the lower capacity rides they have here, so I'm trying to knock it out first. Looks like a pretty short line up there.
Exit is clear. Exit is clear. All exits are clear. All clear. This is clear.
Well, that was a great ride to start the day. Just over a 10-minute wait, not too bad. I mean, it's a pretty low capacity ride, but very low numbers. Get great ejector air time on this first drop. And then right there, you can see it right here. That provides a nice little like going left, going right type of air time. And then that final slow inline twist at the end. That's extremely good hang time. So a couple good moments of air time, couple good moments of hang time. Good ride. All right, next up is Goliath. B&M dive coaster right here. Generally viewed as one of the best rides in the park, if not the best ride. Yep, it's a total walk-on. I'm gonna take the second row from the back all to myself. Yeah, so first off, not a lot of great spots to get footage of this ride. It kind of goes outside the park boundaries for a bit before it comes back. Out of the 4 B&M hyper coasters I've ridden, I would rank this last out of the 4, but still a very good ride. This drop doesn't hit nearly as much as I expected it to, nor do the next 2 airtime hills. But the helix in the center I thought was extremely good. I really don't like helixes generally, but I thought this was extremely good. It was a very intense helix. And the bunny hills on the return were also very good. So the parts that I expected to hit didn't hit quite as well, and the stuff I had no expectation for hit extremely well for what they are. So still a very good ride. Also, it rattled quite a bit. I don't think I've ever felt a rattle quite that strong on a B&M before, but still a pretty good ride. I would still take this over Daredevil Dive at least. Okay, now Superman Ultimate Flight. There's 3 copies of this exact ride in existence. This is generally considered the best out of the 3 because this ride was designed for the train. And the other 2 were clones of this model. I've ridden Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. I expect this to be just below that one, but probably above the other 2 Superman Ultimate Flight clones, so we will see. Yep, it's a total walk-on, but they just closed the gates when I got to the station, so I gotta wait for this one train to cycle back. They're only running 1 train, but certainly not a very busy ride at the moment.
Very dispatch, enjoy your ride.
Okay, I was very surprised at just how many near miss moments there were, where it felt like you were about to collide with all sorts of objects all throughout the track layout. Definitely as a terrain coaster, you can feel it kind of weaving in and out of the various land formations. That pretzel loop in front of me, easily the most intense part of the ride, and the inline twist at the end, second most intense part of the ride. Otherwise, it's hard to call it intense. It's more like a very interesting sensation, and the near miss elements really add a lot of thrill to it. But I mean, I'd have to take Manta at SeaWorld Orlando over this. Definitely more of an intense ride than this, but this is still pretty good. I'd have to put Goliath number 1, probably Daredevil number 2, then this number 3 so far. And now we'll be riding the wooden coaster right in front of me, Great American Screen Machine. It's a pretty classic looking, kind of out and back-ish style wooden coaster. Looks like a walk-on down there.
Clear, this must be your ride.
I'd say it's pretty good for a classic out and back Woody. Definitely the worst ride here I've ridden so far, which these types of rides are never near the top of any park. I mean, I'll definitely say this is better than High Roller at Valley Fair. Not as good as Blue Streak at Cedar Point. Blue Streak was very smooth and had very good airtime, and this had pretty solid airtime actually, especially on these return bunny hills right here. But it was rough. Like if I thought Renegade a few weeks ago was rough at Valley Fair, this is even more so. Definitely feels like, you know, like you traveled back in time, back when roller coasters were this rough and no one knew what smooth was, but you know, I'd still ride it again. It's not bad. Now I'm gonna do Blue Hawk. I'm gonna dodge the sprinklers here quick. This one's somewhat of a retro style. These things were built usually in the late 80s to mid 90s, give or take. Won't expect a lot. Honestly, as long as this ride doesn't make me sick, which some of these rides tend to, the very inversion heavy, positive force heavy style rides tend to, I'll consider it kind of a win. I would expect this to be worse than the ride I just rode, but still somewhat enjoyable for what it is. Even better, I can tell that there is zero weight, so I'll get on it pretty quick. Okay, that was quite a bit better than I expected it to be. Honestly, probably the best Mega Looper I've ever been on, which isn't saying much. They're also kind of a dying breed. Many of the Aero Mega Loopers have been removed. Only, I think one remains actually in the country that I'm aware of, and this one is actually built by Vekoma. This might be their only one in the United States. I know this ride was redone some years ago. Basically, new restraints. They don't have the typical over-the-shoulder restraints. It's like the vest-style restraint with the bars that extend outward for you to grip on, which makes a huge difference because that basically removes any and all headbanging the ride could have. Also, tons of near miss elements on this ride that you wouldn't see coming until you get on the ride, and you know, those are just always an interesting little twist to any ride as a near miss element. So I would actually recommend this. I would rate this over Great American Screen Machine, so this would be my 4th ranked ride out of the 5 I've ridden so far. Another wonderful theme park tunnel, but this one's a good deal smaller than the other one, but also quite a bit more colorful. Oh hey, the park has another theme park tunnel over here. This one's similar to the others, but also different. Has sunflowers, little butterflies set up. Very, very nice. The park does a wonderful job on these. Now we've got Twisted Cyclone. There's a lift hill. There it goes. I very much expect this to be my favorite ride in the entire park. It's the only Rocky Mountain construction roller coaster they have here. Generally one of the lower rated RMCs, one of the shorter RMCs, but RMC is still almost always one of the best rides in any park it's in. Well, this is gorgeous. There's not a wait at all. I'm actually gonna go in the very back train if I can help it.
Push up, push up.
Yeah, back row is the best row.
Y'all ready, rock? Gotta get a, oh yeah.
Okay, that's a tremendous ride. Definitely the best ride in the park. Definitely better than Goliath, but this is also the worst RMC I've personally been on. I've only been on 3, but I know that even among people who've ridden them all, this is generally ranked, you know, towards the bottom quarter, 20%, something like that. Still very, very good. That, you know, just below the lift hill right here, where you go completely sideways, you could say, sideways airtime, right there where the train just went. That is the best part of the ride. That's a very, very good element. Line is extremely short, so I'm gonna get 2 rides in really quick and try to ride a different part of the train, because I just rode in the very back, and see if I, you know, get a different opinion on it after having a few more rides. Okay, front row this time. After my 3rd ride, I started to notice all this little, you could say Cyclone theming, I guess. Sort of nautical base. Even though a Cyclone is more inland, you'd be thinking more hurricane, but whatever. I still think they look kind of nice. Also, they have some of the nautical theming here in this lower queue area. And up here by the ride station, more shipwreck stuff here. And over there. Then here's the platform. Okay, I ended up doing 4 straight rides. So first ride was back row, second ride front row, third ride about middle, and fourth ride third row from the back. Definitely more of a back row ride than not. You definitely feel all the forces much stronger in the back, though, you know, the front always has the advantage of having a gorgeous view. It's kind of wild. I mean, like this sideways thing right here, that's easily the best element of the ride. And this little airtime hill that's just on the other side of this, that's the second best element on the ride. After that, there's 3, 4 things you could debate for, you know, what would you rank element 3 through 7, because they're all pretty fantastic. Every single one of these downward and upward twist, or barrel rolls I should say, are all very, very good, because you get a lot of airtime on all of them while you're inverting. Just such an interesting sensation. I mean, that's my absolute favorite inversion I've ever been on, is any sort of downward or upward barrel roll inversion on RMC. Steel Vengeance had some of them, and Goliath had, at Six Flags Great America, had some of them, and other RMCs have them as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful element. We need a lot more of them. We need a lot more RMCs in general. I mean, this is like my 3rd favorite RMC, but it's probably, well, I would say definitely like a top 10 roller coaster for me, period. Borderline top 5, though admittedly I haven't ridden a ton of roller coasters, maybe like 60, 70 at this point. I'm not sure what my actual count is yet. I don't really keep track, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. But yeah, this is a very, very good ride. Easily the best ride in the park. 100% come here for this ride alone. As you would, pretty much any RMC is usually the best ride in the park anywhere it is. So, all right, now I'm gonna do the Monster Mansion. It's a nice little dark ride on a boat. Takes you through some show scenes. See, they load it right up there. Just get on a little boat and go inside the mansion. Just under a 10-minute wait. Not bad at all. Yeah, that is an absolutely wonderful dark ride. I filmed just a very short clip, maybe about a third of the way in. That's kind of when it's more whimsical, funny, goofy. You know, the latter third or so of the ride starts to get more dark, ominous, or perhaps even spooky in a lighter sense. But I could see myself being, you know, a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old child and being pretty frightened of some of the animatronics. There's a lot of animatronics. There's a lot going on. These are all original characters, original music. So many rides don't quite put in this effort, and so many parks need to put in rides like this. I feel every single theme park should have a dark ride like this, just a basic boat ride, animatronics and stuff like this. It's just wonderful. I mean, outside Disney and Universal, I don't think you'll find a better dark ride, and this ride even beats a lot of dark rides at Disney and Universal, so hats off to Six Flags for this thing. Wonderful attraction. Now, I'm gonna do another family-ish style attraction, Dahlonega Mine Train. Mine train type coaster comparable to Adventure Express at Kings Island or Cedar Creek Mine ride at Cedar Point, or Big Thunder Mountain at Disney World, but right now there's like zero line for it, so I'm gonna get on it, give it a shot, see how it compares to those rides. All right, right here you can get a view of Dahlonega. I love that name, by the way. I think it's a great name. I don't know if it means something in the area, but Dahlonega is just a fun thing that rolls off the tongue really well. I would have to rate it lower than Cedar Creek Mine Ride and Adventure Express, though. I mean, it's a very jerky ride. I mean, it doesn't have any force. None of these rides have any forces, these mine train type rides, which is understandable. They're more family type attractions. But it's the jerkiness that really gets me. Adventure Express, I remember being really jerky and kind of intense in a way for the type of attraction it is. This had no intensity and just the jerkiness, and also much less theming than either Cedar Creek Mine Ride or Adventure Express. Not that either of those is filled with theming per se, but this had even less of it. Plus, you can kind of see over there, there's a lot of construction going on adjacent to this attraction. That's for the new for 2024 ride, which is going to be kind of like a Avatar Airbender at Nickelodeon Universe at MOA, but much larger scale version of it, and with water effects that kind of mist you, splash you slightly, cool you. But certainly, I'd have to come back and feature you to ride that attraction. It looks like a very interesting one. I think it might be the first model ever built in the United States, or perhaps ever. So that's something to look forward to on a future visit, because I would definitely come back here someday. Solid park. Now check out the Gotham City section of the park. There's 2 roller coasters in particular I want to ride back here. See if I can get them in. Doesn't look like I'll be riding this. I know these ones have been kind of pretty spotty. 2 of these were installed around the country, but they've experienced a lot of downtime. These apparently pack a much better punch than they look. So hopefully they can fix the downtime issues. Okay, I'm gonna do Riddler Mindbender. This is green track right here. It's a Schwarzkopf, which is basically he's an old roller coaster designer whose models have, he hasn't made a new one in a long, long time. I'm pretty sure he's dead actually. But a lot of enthusiasts seem to like him a lot. And I know this ride was redone a couple years ago or something like that, and people say it's less intense. But I'm gonna give it a shot. Not even a 10-minute wait.
Alright, y'all cannot laugh at my picture.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ride. It's much better than it looks. I mean, I've heard that it used to be more intense, but I thought this was pretty intense. I typically don't like loops on roller coasters that much, but these are excellent loops. You know, there's just something about these rides. I remember being on a Shockwave at Six Flags Over Texas when I was younger. I remember thinking the same thing of that. They don't look like much, but there's a lot more to these rides than you can initially see. Schwarzkopf, he knew what he was doing. He was before his time. Good for him. Okay, time for Batman. One of the most cloned roller coasters there are. I've been on 2 different ones. But here, this one is generally viewed as better than the others, a little bit more intense. We shall see. I do appreciate little bits of theming like this. It's not much, but it does add a good chunk to the ride experience. Just industrial type theming tends to go with these Batman the Ride clones. You know what? I gotta make a bit of an executive decision here. The wait time looks a little bit long for a ride that I've been on at 2 different locations before, so I'd like to go on a unique ride that I've never been on. So Georgia Scorcher will be my final ride, I think, because I kind of got to get going here pretty quick. Yeah, always kind of a tough one to make the decision to walk away from a ride, but on second guess, I can only really get one more ride in, and the wait for this one looks a little bit too long, so it's this ride or another ride. And Georgia Scorcher it is, because it's a much more unique experience to me. Actually, I should say Georgia Scorcher is a much more unique experience to pretty much everybody. I mean, stand-up roller coasters are kind of going away, but maybe they're coming back in the surf coaster model. We shall see long term. Okay, Georgia Scorcher. She looks like a walk-on, so shouldn't have any issues. Just gotta walk the queue. As you can tell, people are in the standing position. It's a fairly unique roller coaster position to be riding in. Yeah, it's just kind of okay. It's definitely a headbanger. Not terrible as far as headbanger goes. I thought Riddler at Cedar Point, which was formerly the stand-up roller coaster Mantis, was much better as a floorless coaster versus a stand-up coaster. And this coaster would probably benefit from the same treatment, but the purist historian part of me would want this to remain as a stand-up just for novelty's sake. But, oh well. I mean, I'd probably rank Great American Scream Machine, Blue Vortex, and Dahlonega Mine Train as the 3 worse than this one. Otherwise, I'd say every other roller coaster is better than this here. I do very much love this little Main Street section this park has. I mean, it's basically ripping off Disney, but who are we kidding? Disney knew what they were doing. This is a great idea, and more parks should do it. And that is it for today. Very, very happy with my visit today. I got way more rides in than I was expecting. I think the longest wait I had was 10, maybe 15 minutes, if that. Did not expect crowds to be this light. I'd love to come back here again in the future. I might come back here on Tuesday when I have another layover in Atlanta, but the weather is looking very stormy that day, so not entirely up to me. If the weather is poor, then I won't come. If the weather is somewhat not poor, then I'll probably still come, because I still have a long layover with nothing else to do. So, well, I guess I have some alternative plans, but I'd prefer to come back here. So, Twisted Cyclone was number 1, Goliath number 2, and then I would say Daredevil number 3. A lot of good rides though. I mean, I liked it. I love the dark ride, Monster Mansion. That's wonderful. Definitely let's come back here in the future. It's a great Six Flags. They just need to add, I mean, every park could always use another ride or 2, but it's still pretty good as is. You got 4 B&Ms here, so not many parks get to say that. All right, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. I also do want to point out as I exit right there, you have to walk a long path back to your car, which is very unique to this park. Not many parks have this type of parking situation. We're leaving a bit earlier than planned because I have plenty of anxiety about going on my first ever international flight, and I'd like to give myself an extra 30 to 45 minutes, so that is what I'm going to do. Just also want to add that I have successfully filmed 2 out of 3 videos today, and the third kind of depends on if I get a window seat. I mean, I'm still going to try to film it if I don't get a window seat, but it might not be the best video ever. We shall see. Oh, I guess I got a tram that takes you back. Maybe I could hop on that. Yeah, I did get on the tram. I'll save myself a few steps today. Here's Georgia Scorcher. Get a really good look at it from right here. It's only got 2 inversions on it, but they're pretty good inversions, to be fair.